Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Osha.
Let's start episode 135 of Ask Vidas and Osha podcast. This question was sent by Mike and he writes, when and when not to play the Amen of a Christmas song or carol. This has been a discussion. Some Christmas songs have an Amen at the end of them, some don't. When playing one during a regular church service that has it at the end, I believe you play it. However, if you are playing this as a Christmas carol, say for a choir to sing, then you don't play it. Is this correct or not? Thank you very much, Mike. Osha, do you think that this question applies to any hymn or chorale, not just a Christmas song or carol?
I think you may say so, because often church songs, church hymns have Amen at the end of them. But I think it's sort of a broad question, because I think it depends on the denomination that you're playing in and belongs in the tradition.
What do you mean?
Well, the more liberal churches are, I think the less the word Amen we use at the end of, any hymn.
Oh, that's right. Remember, we played from Lutheran hymnal that is in Missouri Synod, right?
Yes.
From 1940s, I believe. This hymnal always had Amen at the end of every hymn.
Yes. But because the Missouri Synod is sort of, the conservative
Yes.
one. Not the most conservative, but on the more conservative side.
And what about, for example, more liberal Lutheran hymnals like ELCA?
I think we don't have
Don't?
Amen at the end of, at least of, Christmas carols. So.
Yes, you're right. It depends on the tradition of your congregation.
Yes.
Normally, I would say more and more denominations don't use Amen at the end, I would say.
Although I don't see, anything wrong with this word, it's a nice word. It doesn't mean anything, bad. It just confirms whatever you said before.
Mm-hmm.
It's like confirmation of what, let's say, you sang, what the words were about.
It's
and that's
like
it.
It's like at the end of the prayer we would say
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's a word that you need to avoid. But in order, to make things right, you just need to find out what the tradition is in your particular church, your denomination, and how people, accept it. So maybe just talk with your priest or pastor and find out about it.
And this is true that when you play hymns for a let's say concerts or other non-liturgical occasions, then you don't actually need Amen at the end.
Yes, and if you sing with choir, for example, an original composition, even if it's based on the Christmas tune, then just look what composer, suggests. If there is no Amen at the end, then don't add it.
Let's say there is a situation when you have no Amen at the end in your hymnal, but you would like to add it. Do you know how to do it?
Well, yes, that's very simple.
What chords would you suggest?
Dominant and tonic. What about you? Could you suggest something else?
Dominant and tonic. On which scale degree in the melody those two chords should go?
On the fifth scale degree.
So if the hymn ends on the fifth scale degree, you use normally dominant and tonic. But if the melody ends, let's say, on the first scale degree, what would you do then?
Then you would do subdominant and tonic.
Subdominant and tonic. Do you know any hymns that end on the third scale degree?
No, I don't recall.
So most often still it's either tonic or the dominant in the melody.
So if the hymn is or Christmas carol is more sort of ancient time and based on the model harmony, then you probably want or need to use subdominant and tonic. But if it's more modern, then probably dominant and tonic would fit better.
And depending on the mode too,
Sure, of course.
if let's say hypothetical mode is in C but ends on the note G, which is the dominant note, it's actually not C major mode, but G mixolydian, I would say.
Yes.
Right. So then dominant G major chord, right?
Yes.
And the tonic chord C major would not even be considered, I think, as a dominant in that mode.
Yes, it would be more like subdominant function.
Subdominant. In any case, look at the mode and choose the chord or two chords which have one common note in it. Usually it's like a perfect fourth or a perfect fifth apart.
Yes.
Good, guys. So try this in your practice if you want to add your own amen at the end of any type of hymn. What kind of position would you usually do? Closed position or open position in those chords?
I think I would do closed position. It's easier and I think more convenient, really. What about you? Would you play it in an open position?
I would say I would look at the range of the melody. If it's a high note, let's say first scale degree but one octave higher, then I would use open position. And if it's a low first scale degree, then closed position. Would that be okay, Osha?
Yes, I think it would be excellent. But thinking about that you would do Christmas carols with choir and maybe congregation would join you, I don't think the sopranos would sing so high that you actually need an open position. But that's probably just my way of thinking because I'm an alto voice, so.
Most of the hymns end on the low scale degree, low first scale
And
degree.
now, when I was doing that workshop for church organists, that hymn harmonization seminars, I looked closely to the ELCA hymnal, and what I discovered is that most of the hymn tunes are written either in F major or in G major. I found like some in D major, but basically F major and G major, these are two main keys that hymnals uses.
And what do you want to say?
Well, that it's very very comfortable range to sing in these two keys.
Especially
sort of middle range.
Especially if you end on the lower first scale degree.
Yes, on the F or on the G of the first octave.
And no congregation member would sing higher than.
I think so. Yes.
Higher than let's say treble C or D.
Of course, if that's an original composition written for a choir, then of course it might be high, but in that case you probably would not add amen at the end of it.
Ah, I see. If it's a congregational hymn, then yes. But if it's choir setting, then probably amen are not necessary.
But yes, and of course it's always a good idea to consult your clergy about these things, because some may not even think about it very closely, but for some it might mean a lot, so you better check out.
Thanks, guys. We hope this was useful to you, right, Osha?
I hope so.
And send us more of your questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.